Hey everybody, it's Marvel News Fan here back again with another video, and today, my friends, we're doing another ranking with Swfte, and it is the live-action Spider-Man suits this time. And this was brought on because I did another collaboration on his channel, which I will link in the card up top and also in the description down below. On his channel, we did top 5 comic book Spider-Man suits, and I figured, just for the hell of it, and like we did with the Batsuit video, we're pretty much going to do the same thing, only with Spider-Man suits, which I love talking about Spider-Man, so, you know, I always get a kick out of this. But, unfortunately for this video, we couldn't record together. Some things happened, and I wasn't able to do it in a call, so I'm just voicing over mine. He already sent me his thing, so, but it's pretty much the same, format for my other ranking videos. He's going to go first with his list, and then I'm going to go over with my list. So I'm going to turn the mic over to him and let him count down his list. So enjoy.
What is going on, everybody? It is Swfte, back on Marvel's channel again, bringing you another ranking. And I only have 6 suits here on my list, so it shouldn't be too long, but forgive me if there's any noise in the background. It is Super Bowl night, and everyone's going crazy and eating snacks and, talking, yelling, jumping around, and doing all that hoo-ha stuff. So, without further ado, let's get on with my list. So, coming in at number 6, we have the Spider-Man Far From Home stealth suit. I wasn't a huge fan of this suit. Not that it's a bad suit, because I think it fits the part of the movie that it's in for the time it was in the movie, and I like it. I mean, it's like a revitalized noir suit, but obviously the noir suit is much better in my opinion, and that's the only reason why. It's basically just a rehash of the noir suit, and I think that the changes they made weren't better than what they could have done, so that's why it's at number 6. So number 5 is the Spider-Man Far From Home suit. Now, I actually really like this suit because it had a classic look to it. It had the classic Steve Ditko and Todd McFarlane, my favorite Spider-Man comic suit, that color scheme in it, the black and red. And like Marvel, I'm a sucker for that. Obviously, I don't know, I think I'm more of a red and blue guy, but this is awesome. I love the design of it. I love the textures that you can see in the movie. It's really pronounced on the black parts of the suit specifically. Because the red parts, I mean, is not that different from the Homecoming suit. And, you don't really care about the red necessarily because of how interesting the new look is. And I'm glad that we're seeing that this suit is going to be the main suit, at least for the time being right now, for the third Spider-Man movie. And, by the way, please release a trailer for that, Marvel. So, yeah, that's number 5. Number 4 is the Amazing Spider-Man suit from the first movie with the golden eyes. I always loved that suit. I always loved the golden eyes, and that suit came out, that movie came out when I was a lot younger, and that was the first Spider-Man movie I was ever, aware of coming out. I know that Spider-Man 3 came out when I was very young, but I don't remember it coming out. I had, the DVD set when I was, the year after it came out, so I wasn't, into it as much in the theater stuff until The Amazing Spider-Man came out. And that suit was always interesting to me. It was mostly because it was a part of my childhood, and I always loved it when I was younger because of how different it looked. It looked more modern, and I dug it. I still dig it a lot. I think it's interesting, and it's a unique take on the suit that, I mean, they took a huge risk, seriously, with doing that, and it got mixed reviews, obviously, but I think for the most part it gets more love than hate, at least where I'm standing. So coming in at number 3 is the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Obviously, I don't have much to say about the suit other than this is the classic Spider-Man suit. It's even more classic than the Raimi suit. It's just so, spot on to the comics. That kind of 70s style of Peter Parker look. It's so great. And I'm glad they used that. I kind of wish that they would have started the movie with the original Amazing Spider-Man suit, or showed how why he switched it. But either way, I love this suit. It's a classic Spidey look, and it looks great. I love it. So coming in number 2, we've got the Spider-Man Homecoming suit. This suit is a great suit. It's very modernized, and it looks like it's an MCU movie suit. Like it fits in that universe really well, and I love the little web shooters that you can see on his arms. They're not like overly huge and overly pronounced, but they're just pronounced enough to where you're like, you see these little gadgets and it looks awesome. And there's not, as well with this one, it's a classic Spidey design, and there's not much to say about it other than I love the look, and I think it looks great in the movies. I think they look spectacular in the movies, actually. And I always preferred this one over the Far From Home suit, at least right now. And I think, like all my rankings, any of these can change at any given day, depending on how I'm feeling. But right now, I'm feeling this one at number 2. I think it's a great suit. And yeah, let's move on to number 1. Obviously, we know what it is. It's the Raimi suit. And this suit was really innovative at a time when Spider-Man had so many different iterations in the comics. They were doing all different kinds of stuff with his design. And this suit was just another add-on to these awesome designs. It was so innovative for stylization of the Spidey suits. And superhero suits in general. I think it gave people another outlook on it. Like, the raised webbing obviously was a huge change. The organic webbing, that's not the suit, but I think it's interesting to not see the suit with web shooters or have anything to do with the suit. That there's no web shooters and it's organic. I love the eyes. I think they're my favorite eyes on any Spidey suit. And the color scheme is as well classic, but the textures that they have that it has on the suit is so cool. It has like these little octagons on the blue bits on the legs and the arms and the abdomen part of the blue, and I think it looks great. And obviously the spider logo is so freaking cool. It's, in my opinion, the best one out of all of them. I think that a close second would be the MCU one. I love that spider on the Homecoming suit. Well, I guess the Homecoming suit and the Far From Home suit have the same logo, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, the Raimi suit is my favorite live action suit of all of them, and I think it's perfect, and I love it to death. And shout out to my favorite Spider-Man series, live action series. So Marvel, I want to thank you for having me on again, and maybe we'll do another collab on my channel. Go check my channel out. I'm doing, hopefully I'll be releasing more content in the near future, but recently I released like 3 videos, I'd say, and I'm working on a Batman the Animated Series video and a Batman video delving into the psychology of Batman. And hopefully, I'm not going to make any promises, but hopefully it's about 40 minutes long, and I really want to delve into it. I'm looking forward to it. So, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to my list, and thank you, Marvel, for having me on here. Peace out, guys.
Well, anyway, folks, that was Swfte's list, which was a really good list, and honestly, man, if I could release a trailer for Spider-Man 3, you definitely know I would. So, yeah. So anyway, let's get into my list, which is definitely more than Swfte's for sure. I have about 14 here, and I'm gonna try and go as quick as possible because, like I said in the Batsuit video, we'd be here all day if I just poured into each suit. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into my list. So, coming at number 14 is the Vigilante suit from the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. And could you even really say this is a Spider-Man suit? It's literally just his regular getup with a red mask, a toque, and sunglasses. Like, that's it. Which, even by, like, first suit standards, like, isn't really all that great. Especially considering, like, the wrestling suit from the first Raimi movie. Like, this just pales in comparison to that. And it's such a shame. Like, I know the angle they were trying to go for, especially with them doing a reboot and also doing kind of like this dark and gritty style. But I just feel like this wasn't really the best way to go in terms of first Spidey suits. Like, they could have done a little bit better. But yeah. Anyway, coming in at number 13 is the Spider-Man from the Electric Company, and oh boy. So for those that don't know, the Electric Company was a children's show back in the 1970s, and on the very occasion they've had Spider-Man show up for an adventure. And if you've not watched Spider-Man segments on the Electric Company, I highly recommend you do so, because they are so bad it's good quality. Like, it's honestly amazing. But the suit they have it's trying to be Steve Ditko's Spider-Man, but it just looks really weird. I know this is a TV budget, and also it's for a children's show, but yeah, I'm just not really a big fan of this one. And there's really nothing else to say about it besides that. So I'm going to move on to number 12. And oh boy, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this one. But at number 12, we have the Iron Spider suits from the MCU. Now, I know what you're going to say. I know there's a lot of people who love this suit to death even, but I just can't get behind the suit, especially in its like later appearances in Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, and even like Far From Home. I just cannot stand this suit there. It's pretty much a metallic classic suit. Like, it's just the regular Homecoming suit that Stark gave him, but now it's just made of metal, and it's got a giant black spider with gold outlines, and it just looks weird. I like the fact that they kept the metallic arms in, but this is one of those cases where like it would have fit a whole lot better if they decided to stick more closely to the comics. And you could see some implications of that in Far From Home, since, you know, the scene where he's making his new upgraded suit, you could see a template which clearly is the comic book Iron Spider suit. Hell, they could have taken some influence from Insomniac and done something similar with what they did for the classic Iron Spider in that game. But as it stands now, I'm just not a fan of this one overall. And yeah, I'm going to move on before I piss off even more people. So coming in at number 11 is the Raimi Black suit. Yeah, so what happens when you take the regular red and blue suit and dip it in some black dye? Well, you get the Raimi Black suit, and I can see why they decided to go this route, especially because when they started making the black suit, they were going to go with the classic comic design, which has been seen in behind the scenes photos, but the way they were doing it then just didn't work. But this just feels kind of lazy. Like they didn't know what to do. The comic book black suit they felt wasn't going to work, so they just went with the only thing they could do, which was basically, like I said, take the regular costume and dip it in black dye and just call it a day. And it's kind of a shame. I hope in the future that when we get the black suit in the Spider-Man movies, they go the extra mile in, you know, sticking it more closely to the comics. I would love to see the classic design in a movie at some point in my life, but we'll see. But anyway, coming in at number 10 is the wrestling suit from the first Sam Raimi movie. Now, there's a lot of things that I like about this design, but yeah, the more that I look at it now, it's just like, I mean, there's parts that I like, but it's, yeah, anyway. Like, I like that he spray painted the logo on the sweater. I like the blue pants with the red stripe going down. I'm not a fan of the kind of carpenter gloves that he wears, and also the shoes too. I'm not a fan. And the mask looks kind of weird on Toby. Like, it's neat, but like that moment where he wins the match and the crowd is cheering him on, like he just looks like a doof in that costume. And you know, it's classic, but like I don't know. I'm like down the middle on it. So anyway, that's moving on to number 9 on my list, which is the stealth suit from Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, this is basically the noir suit, but in modern day and made by Shield, which I like the design of it. I think the design looks really cool. I like the fact that he can like open up his lenses, which, I mean, I don't really see the use of that besides, getting some emotion out of Tom, but yeah, other than that, I don't really know what the purpose of that was. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me, but one thing that has always bugged me is the fact that he has fingerless gloves. Like, I don't understand why they would decide to go that route. Yeah, it's just a strange decision that kind of like, it just bugs me. And it's a problem that I have with the next suit on my list. But this is just, it's even weirder because he's into his career. Like, people are going to say that like he's the next Iron Man, but then Shield decides to give him some fingerless gloves. Like, they're smarter than that. I don't know. Anyway, it's a cool look. Like, I dig it. But yeah. So coming in at number 8 is the homemade suit from Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, as like a first kind of version, like if a real teenager decided to make a Spider-Man suit from scratch, like this would pretty much be the end result. And I really like the look of it. I like the hoodie. I like the, the like the slip-on shoes with the socks. I like the design of the web shooters. The eyes kind of bug me out a little bit just because of how far it is away from Peter's face. But that's just, that's just a me thing. And also, this is another suit where they decided to put fingerless gloves on it. And I don't understand why, because the gloves themselves look awesome. But they're just fingerless. They'd look a lot better if they were just fully gloved. I know this is a weird nitpick, but it's just, I don't know, man. I'm just not really digging that. But besides that, the whole suit looks really nice, and definitely a good cosplay on the cheap if you're wanting to go that route. But anyway, coming in at number 7 on my list, we have Japanese Spider-Man. Now, this is just the classic suit, and it looks really good. And, even though this is a Japanese show that, pretty much inspired Power Rangers, like, they did a really good job with the suit. Like, I like the look of it. It's pretty much taking elements from like John Romita Sr. Spider-Man, and you know, it's John Romita Sr., but it has a little bit of Ditko in there, while also having some Japanese influence. And also, that bracelet he wears is good. I love it. I can't get enough of it. So, coming in at number 6 on my list is the 70s TV show, the live action TV show, Spider-Man suit. Now, it's pretty much just the Japanese suit, except the mask is different. And also he's wearing rain boots, and he has a big web shooter on his wrist. Like just one singular web shooter. Which, those I can do without. But I like the design overall, even with the mask. There are, they're the mirrored versions, which are the ones that I prefer the most. There's these other ones which look like shower drain covers, which just do not look great. But I think this suit is, it has a good mixture of looking real nice and like being extremely flexible. And, it's classic Spidey. It's classic comic book Spidey. And, yeah, it's great. Anyway, coming in at number 5, we're going to get to top 5 here, and oh boy, this is a struggle. But yeah, coming in at number 5, we have the first Amazing Spider-Man suit, the first Andrew Garfield suit. And I think when it comes to rebooting a franchise, going in a darker direction, this does a good job. Because it's different, but it's also recognizable at the same time. The only thing that kind of bugs me is like the logos, which is pretty much just the Raimi logos again, but like the legs are just longer. And it's separated into parts, which I don't understand. But everything else looks, awesome. I love the kind of unfinished look of it. I like the fact that they just use sunglasses as lenses. Even though it looks like a basketball, like I think it's a neat design overall. And I'm on the fence where I kind of wish they kept this for the sequel, but I'm so glad about the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, which you'll see where that fits later on in my list. But anyway, moving on to number 4, which, oh man, this was a struggle. Number 4 is the Homecoming suit. If you want to talk about classic Spidey, this is classic Spidey. And I think this is pretty much the perfect modern adaptation of John Romita Sr. Spider-Man. With a bit of Ditko in there. It's like, it's modernizing Ditko / Romita Spider-Man. And it makes it fit in the MCU. And I don't know, it's just like there's a lot of things that I like about the suit. Everybody like craps on the black bands, but I like them. How they connect down to the web shooters and like down to the belt. I think the belt is just a little too high. Like it should be just lower. I'd place it lower, but still like the black bands. I like the fact that like they have the web shooter cartridges on his belt. Not a big fan of the logo on his chest. It just looks like a beetle and not really a spider. But yeah. But yeah, it's just a great design. And I think it was the perfect way to, reinvent Spider-Man's costume while also, keeping it traditional, but also really making it stand out among the rest. But anyway, coming at number 3, we have the Far From Home suit, which, if you watched Swifte's video on the top 5 comic book Spider-Man suits, you'll know that I have a thing for black and red color schemes for superhero costumes. And Spider-Man is definitely one of those cases where black and red fits so well. And I think the suit we have here just looks great. It has a lot of the design elements from the Homecoming suit, which, carry over well. I like the front logo that is there. Like, it's different. I don't like the back logo. It just looks like the front logo, but just enlarged and white, which I'm mixed on. I would have preferred red, but I like the kind of the red segments on his arms. Also, the belt is, down more, which I appreciate. I kind of wish like the black segments didn't really go on the belt, which is one of the things that I'm liking so far seeing the set photos for Spider-Man 3. It's like they kind of fix that remedy, which I'm happy about. But yeah, just on a personal standpoint, there's a lot of things that, make me lean towards this rather than the Homecoming suit. Even though the Homecoming suit is pretty much the perfect classic Spider-Man suit on like the big screen. But just as a concept, I like the Far From Home suit more. So, coming in at number 2 is the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume. Okay, this was really a struggle. And yeah, like, even though, like I said, I prefer the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit for that series, I still can't deny the fact that the TASM 2 suit on its own is just perfect. It's pretty much, even though the Homecoming suit is pretty much the perfect classic suit translated to film, I think the TASM 2 suit is the perfect modern Spider-Man suit translated to film. The perfect modern comic suit translated to film. And like the suit just looks great overall. From the raised webbing, the eyes, the big white eyes, which I love. The logos look pretty awesome. The only thing that I wish is I just wish the color scheme of the costume was just a little brighter. It's just a little too dark for my taste, but yeah, that's just the only thing that bugs me about the suit. Everything else, pitch perfect. Like, wouldn't change a thing, but it's just that detail in the colors just kind of is the reason why it's not number 1. But yeah, overall, fantastic suit. And moving on to number 1, I'm sure people saw this coming, but I don't fucking care. Number 1, we got the Raimi suit, the classic Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit. And even though the first movie and 2 and 3, they're different suits, I'm just all kind of clumping it together because like I just love those designs overall. I love the raised silver webbing. The logos are cool. It has a very classic looking design, which I appreciate. Even down to like the logos and lenses that I just love everything about this suit. The honeycomb pattern, like all throughout the details of the suit is just incredible. It's a design that is, standed the test of time in my eyes, and even though you could say that's, nostalgia and bias kicking in, like I said, I don't care. I love these suits, and yeah, I got nothing else to say because this suit is literally perfect. But I am gonna end the video because we're all done. We're done ranking the Spider-Man suits, and first and foremost, I want to thank Swfte for joining me on this collaboration. It's always fun doing videos with him, and I recommend you go check out his channel. And also check out the video we did on the top 5 comic book Spider-Man suits. It's pretty good. So anyway, folks, I have one more ranking video planned to come out next week, and then I'm going to take a break from ranking stuff. I think we've pretty much, done more than enough already. And I kind of want to focus on other playlists and not have to worry about ranking stuff for a good while. Next time I'm going to rank something, I don't know. We'll see once we get back to it. But anyway, folks, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Be sure to follow me down below in all of my links, such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also I have a Discord server if you're interested in joining. If not, then whatever, but much appreciated anyway. So, folks, I hope you all have a great night. Thank you all so much for watching. And don't forget to take care of yourselves. See ya.